Hello, and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello!
Hello! And today we are talking about the movie that nobody expected. Well, some people expected it because they've been talking about it for years, but nobody expected to be this good. Spoilers for the rest of the conversation. We're talking about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice! Whoa! Yes! Directed by Tim Burton, of course. Written by Alfred Goh, Miles Millar, and Seth Grahame-Smith. Starring Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara. And, of course, the new Scream Queen...
Jenna Ortega.
Yes. The Dietz family returns to mourn the loss of the patriarch, and at the same time, hijinks are going on in the afterlife.
Of course,
yes, and hilarity ensues. Basically, that's it, because you can't really succinctly explain what the plot of this movie is, because there's a lot going on. But that's basically it. It's a legacy sequel in every way of the word.
Oh yes. It's
a sequel like 36 years later. I really wasn't expecting this. I wasn't looking forward to this, I should say, at all. It wasn't even planned to watch this. You wanted to, and I was like,
I wanted to watch it, yes.
I don't really wanna, because, Tim Burton's track record over the last 15-20 years has been very, very spotty. Mostly trash, then a couple of good movies here and there, but nothing like, early 90s, late 90s Tim Burton, Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, stuff like that. He's really been struggling, and there's a lot of people talking about how he is feels like he's given up as a director. And then this comes around, and he's just like, oh, this is going to be a fucking shit show. And... well, I've already kind of told you what I think, but
what did you think of it?
I was going to ask you, what did you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was pretty great. I mean, it's not a perfect movie of any in any way of
far from it.
But it had I had nothing to complain about, really.
Not really, no.
It had me laughing. I was invested. I really enjoyed it. It was pure fun.
Yeah.
It almost, in a weird way, made me nostalgic for something that I'm not sure I should be nostalgic about, but, You don't consider
Beetlejuice part of your childhood?
I don't think I watched it until I was like mid to late teens.
Oh, okay.
The first time.
I saw it on TV when I was very young for the first time, so it's always been. I'm not a huge fan, but I think it's a fun movie, and I've come back to it from time to time over the years.
Oh yeah, I always watch it around like the autumn time, basically.
Yeah, it's a great Halloween movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but it made me nostalgic, not just for the original Beetlejuice movie, but like for I don't know, the entirety of like. I don't know, the mood or something. I don't know. It just made me feel nostalgic. Kind of like when we talked about that, oh no, what was that movie called? Pizza Express? No.
What?
Snack Summer Shack? Movie. No, the other one, the older one. We talked about it.
Pizza Express?
Oh God. Where it made us nostalgic for a summer we never experienced.
Oh, Licorice Pizza?
That one. Pizza.
Oh,
see?
okay.
Pizza. It was kind of like that. This made me nostalgic for like, I don't know, a Halloween I've never experienced properly.
Yeah, sure.
So what about you?
Oh, I loved it. Like I said on Letterboxd, this has.
Oh yeah, I didn't read that.
This movie has no right being as good as it is. I mean, I mean, on paper, it's a cynical cash grab. We're gonna. We're gonna. It's a thing. People gotta clap at all the references to the old movie. This fan favorite movie. Problem is, it's so well put together. The script is like funny. It's a little messy. It's a little all over the place. Sure. Too many side plots going on.
Yes.
That's really my one gripe with it. There's like too many plots. And a couple of them doesn't really pay off.
No, but like it wasn't an issue though.
No, it wasn't really an issue. It was
That's
just like
the thing.
if I could, I would remove one of them.
Yeah. Sure.
But it still kind of works its way into the main plot without feeling forced. That's the thing. So you don't have to remove it. It's just if you want to make it a little bit less messy, you would remove it or make that the main story more. Either way, the pacing was amazing. Hey, that rhymed. It really felt like it had this energy that I haven't seen a Tim Burton movie have in a long time. I mean, I haven't seen all his movies, but I've seen clips from all the stupid Disney movies, his Alice in Wonderland movies and Dumbo and stuff like that.
I've seen most of them.
It feels so generic, so, we'll just shoot her on green screen and be done with it. This had, it really captured the feeling of the old one where there's a lot of CG in there, but there's also so much just special effects, like real puppets and sets, like real sets. There's stop motion, which I'm sure, that's probably CGI trickery, but it has that stop motion feeling. It has all the weird costumes and effects. It's I don't know, is this PG-13?
Yes.
Yeah. And just like the originals, really pushing the boundaries of PG-13 with a lot of like violence and like funny but still very explicit gore and and I think best of all, not that he has like been slacking off lately. Michael Keaton seems to be having so much fun as Beetlejuice. He hasn't lost. Or I don't know. I haven't rewatched it in a while. But did you feel like age has slowed him down, or that feels like he's phoning it in? Or
no, he was. It's like he was right the exact same person.
Yeah, exactly. Like
they plucked him out of the original, basically.
Yeah. Almost like he is. A timeless demon.
Yeah,
that hasn't aged.
I mean, you could see it
years.
Maybe a little bit. You could see it on the face.
Sure, I mean he is older.
But yeah, exactly. He is supposed to be older, but even demons can look older after a while.
Yeah. The music, of course, Tim Burton is back, and he's unleashed from the shackles of the MCU, where he was stuck making a lot of boring, generic, background music. Here he full force with the bum 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 bum.
Yes.
And it's so much fun.
That is Danny Elfman, of course. Then
didn't I say that?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I thought I said it. Danny Elfman.
You never said the name.
Music by Danny Elfman, and it's full force Danny Elfman.
Yes.
I mean, I know some people don't like his kind of music, so, and if you don't...
For these kinds of movies, it's perfect.
Sure, but if you don't like his kind of music, you're going to hate it, because this is so Danny Elfman, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'd listen to Danny Elfman, sitting around at home, but
no.
When I'm watching this kind of movie, I'm expecting that kind of music.
It worked perfectly for that.
Yes.
And like I said, it's funny. It evokes this kind of this makes me sound like a boomer, but I really felt this was more of a, not that it was nostalgic for Beetlejuice, but it was nostalgic for a way movies were made in like the 90s. Like this was
the vibes.
The vibes. Yeah, like this was a movie they had ideas for back in the late 90s to make it a 5 to 10 years after the original, but development hell. I mean, I know they've been working on this for at least 10 years, if not longer. So I mean, Michael Keaton said back in 2014 that this is a movie he was interested in. That's the only sequel of his, movies that he's interested in doing. So at least 10 years it's been in the works. And all the time he's like, no, don't do it. You're all washed up. Don't ruin this fun movie. And then they make it, and it's just like, oh wow. It's like no time has passed. or at least not 30 years. It feels like I said. It feels like 5 years.
Yeah, the years that have passed in the movie tops.
Yeah,
which isn't 30 years.
No. It might be the most fun I've had in a theater in a while.
Yes.
And when
it might seem a bit harsh, but it's like we haven't seen fun movies in a while.
No, that too, like entertaining, mainstream popcorn munching, blockbuster kind of filmmaking.
No, you know what the last one that was? For me at least.
No.
It was another one of those that had this like 90s nostalgia style to it.
Which one?
The rom-com Anyone But You.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which is 6 months ago basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd say this is much better.
yeah, but I'm like saying like
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
These two have the same nostalgia to it. They're bringing back the 90s fun movies.
Yeah.
Not so serious, not so ginormous blockbuster hell kind of thing.
Yeah, no.
I've heard a lot of people are actually expecting it to come back now finally, even though it's going very slow.
What do you
mean? We predicted it back when we saw Anyone But You, but apparently it's coming back now.
What
or at least they're trying. The 90s kinds of
movies.
Oh,
yeah, we've talked about...
The rom-coms and, like, not the giant movies that are not 2 hours long or 2 hours plus long.
Yeah, that the 80s nostalgia is over, now we're more into 90s and, like, early 2000s nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're getting rid of all the superhero movies and stuff like that.
We had a remake of Mean Girls this year, so...
That one didn't feel like a 90s movie.
No,
though.
but yeah, and that makes
sense.
That
one failed.
Yeah, and it makes sense because now people who grew up in the 90s they're my age. And your age, technically, yeah, even though you're a little younger, yeah. I loved all of it.
Oh, yeah.
I gave this a 4 out of 5, which might be a little high, maybe. But I was so... I laughed throughout. It didn't have these modern movie tropes where they had to work in like trying to make it like the new Ghostbusters movies where you have this fun movie, even though I'm not a big fan of the original, but you have this comedy, this very even like cynical comedy that the original is, but then it wallows in nostalgia and tries to make it emotional.
Yeah, no.
Where you're crying at the end because all my favorite characters. No, this is just fun because it's supposed to be fun. They're not trying to. It's not emotionally baiting
holding you hostage.
Yeah, no, yeah. One scene, but that's or one part of the movie, but that's not even part of the nostalgia part. That's not even nostalgic. That's just part of Jenna Ortega's character, her father.
Oh yeah, no,
which is the one like emotional
that's a new character,
anchor.
So it doesn't count. It would have been worse if they tried to do with some of the original characters.
Yeah,
which they kind of did, but they played it off so much that you just laughed at it.
Yeah,
because they wanted to get rid of one character.
Yes, and we can say that because I think that's part. People know that.
He's not in the cast list. He's not on the poster.
Yeah, so. Jeffrey Jones does not return as whatever his name is, the dad.
Daddy Deets.
Yeah, Daddy Deets. They explained it that
his name is.
He died during a flight,
a plane crash.
He was, and they still work in his character, which I also thought was good. That they they didn't like shit on the character just because the actor is a creep. Instead, they gave
Charles Deeds.
Thank you. Yeah. No, the character, because the character is important. Like the character was fun in the original.
Oh yeah.
So they brought back the character in a way that was fun for the movie,
inventive way,
and then inventive, to not having to bring back Jeffrey Jones, which is good. Better than they did in the Deadwood movie that came out a few years ago, where he had just been accused or even, I mean, he's a pedophile. That's what it,
Yeah, that's the
but they were like, fuck,
issue.
we still need him in the movie because he's so integral to that show, Deadwood. But we'll just put him in the background. He won't have any lines, and he's basically just standing around. You see him like, reacting to things happening, but he's in the movie just enough so they can say, well, the character is there.
Yeah.
And here
they played him off basically.
Yeah.
But in a very good way.
Yeah. Very inventive to remove Jeffrey Jones from the character. Yeah.
Yes. I wonder who did his voice though. Because he did talk.
Yeah, he talked, but it was very garbled.
Well, yeah, because
for reasons.
Exactly.
So you couldn't really tell. It sounded like him, I suppose, but you can't really tell.
No.
It's like all the time. I don't know if
I don't even find I find someone called Clive. Did they call him Clive?
No, they call him Charles.
Because we have Clive and Clive voice. But who the fuck is Clive then? Oh, doesn't matter.
That's one of the no, he's not in the. Charles Dietz is not listed, so no.
No, because he's not an actual character. He's just a walking prop.
Yeah, he is a character. That's the thing. He has. Well, no, he's more of a prop. You're right.
Yeah, he's more of a walking prop.
He's more part of Catherine Delia Dietz's plot.
Yes,
he's kind of a MacGuffin for her plot. I just want to see. Guess we kind of gotta start talking about.
Yeah, we need to talk about the spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah, because you can't really.
We need to talk about Bob and Jeff and Dave, whatever the name was.
No, yeah, but just to round it off, like it really felt like a Tim Burton movie from the 90s. Yes. It felt like he actually wanted to make this movie.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's the case or if he just like, well, maybe I'll give it the old college try, but it feels genuine from everyone involved.
Yeah, I even like Jenna Ortega, even though I have a grudge against her.
I don't know why you have a grudge. I'm not a big fan, but I don't know why you have a grudge against her.
I don't know, she seems annoying.
Okay, whatever. No, but and how you can tell how it's also we can continue actually because now I found it.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Why this doesn't feel like it's not made for a modern audience, like.
No.
Sure, kids nowadays could enjoy it, like, but you would have had to seen the original at least. But I mean,
yeah, because you kind of need to understand a few details. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work on its own, which is good. So it's not a soft reboot or anything like that, which is good.
It's an actual sequel.
It's an actual sequel, yeah. But it feels like it's made with a grown-up audience in mind, also.
Yeah, like they expect the audience that grew up with watching the original to go and see this one.
Yeah. So we don't have like I said, a lot of modern tropes. One thing is going to make me sound like a boomer, but there's no even though they kind of joke about it, there's no, there's no like forced inclusivity or like there's no jokes like that's offensive.
No.
There's no stuff like that. Not that the movie is offensive, they just don't put stuff like that in to show like, these old fuddy-duddies, like, they don't know what it's about, and like have a bunch of young characters be like, ugh, that's so 80s, that's so, microaggressions and whatever. It's just, it's just like, it's just a movie.
Exactly.
They're not trying to, there's no agenda behind it, it's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said,
I didn't even think about that at all because
I was worried it was gonna happen because Jenna Ortega's character is like an activist, and I was like,
oh yeah, sure.
Is she gonna start like calling out?
She's an environmental activist.
Yeah, and just like in the 90s, they kind of make fun of her being an environmental activist. Like that's not what the movie is about.
No, exactly.
So I like that.
I'm not entirely sure what the movie is about, to be honest.
No, you know what it's about? It's about
family, I guess.
Yeah, that's every movie though. That's the only modern trope. It's about family. Because that's
all the 90s movies.
That's an easy. Yeah. No, but you know what? It's about 90 minutes of fun. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That too. Wow, like I'm talking about the pacing. It's never boring, but it also doesn't feel like it's rushed.
Even like the slow moments are still fun in some way, or like they're not slow, just lulling. They're just slightly less fast paced.
Yeah, perfect example of that, where they're like they wanna tell us the backstory of Monica Bellucci's character, that's in the trailers as well. It's Beetlejuice's ex-wife from the like 1600s. Yes. She was part of this soul-sucking devil cult. She was she killed him, so that she's kind of part of him becoming the bioexorcist, a demon.
Yeah.
But before he died, he cut her into pieces
so he took her with him, basically.
Yeah. And the way they tell that backstory, which is it's literally just an exposition dump. It's literally him talking to the camera, or
he picks up a mic.
Yeah, he picks up a mic to tell us. But that scene, all of a sudden, he starts talking in a weird 50s way in Italian.
Yeah.
The movie becomes literally a scene out of not literally, but it becomes a scene out of Black Sunday? It's a Mario Bava movie. The whole scene is a reference to Mario Bava, and specifically Black Sunday or whatever it's called. And it goes
the wedding ceremony and everything.
Yeah, and it all looks, all of a sudden it's all like flat backgrounds, and also kind of like
black and white, obviously.
Yeah, more easily to think about it. It looks a lot like the Universal monster movies from the 30s. Yeah. Stuff like that. But more specifically than it evokes Mario Bava.
Which if you know who that is.
If you know who that is.
I just thought of like
he's an Italian like exploitation director, but he had a sense of style like a lot of them didn't. He's more Lucio Fulci than he is Ruggero Deodato, if you wanna.
You're just saying Italian names now. I have no clue what you're talking about. And the thing is, you don't have to know what it's talking about. No, you don't have to,
because the scene is fun in and of its own. And even if
you can tell that it's, old movie. Yeah. And that's about it. And it's in Italian, so it's funny because it's, it's an old Italian movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, most people do know that, Italians are known for making a lot of exploitation films where they just copied Hollywood movies.
But made them a little bit more gory and
cheap is the main thing. Yeah,
that's true.
So they evoked that feeling of an old-timey horror movie. Because it's a story that takes place in, a long time ago, so it makes sense. Exactly. Stuff like that, like who would do that?
No one,
other than like some weirdo indie director. Yeah, and Tim Burton in this $100 million movie. I don't know how much it cost, but I'm sure it was super expensive.
They did a lot. Like, even though it looks simple, there's a lot going on. There's so many sets and costumes that are obviously not cheap.
Yeah, and like we said, $100 million is the estimated budget.
Yeah.
And
even just the house and shrouding that in black as is on the poster.
Yeah,
fucking must have cost pretty much.
Yeah, and I think they did that for real. Doesn't look CGI.
Yeah, no, you can tell that it's for real.
Stuff like that, like actual care and attention to detail. In this silly little horror comedy, which is even more fun. Because you could really see this being this more like his Alice in Wonderland movies or Dumbo movies, or movie, I suppose, where it's all just CGI monsters, green screen.
Yeah. But that would have ruined it so much.
And that's what I was worried about. But then you started seeing the trailers weren't super convincing, but at least it kind of looks like, it looks like Beetlejuice. But then it was that they released that Mario Bava clip, and I was like, oh wow, that's really interesting. I mean, kudos.
Yes.
One of the more entertaining movies I've seen this year. It's really up there.
Yes. I think 4 stars is valid. It's just, you need to rank the 4 stars.
Yeah, of course. But if you're on the fence, cause like me, you're you think Tim Burton is kind of burned out and has been for a long, long time, give this a shot. This was so much fun. I laughed out loud several times. Screaming, laughing. And it definitely passes the Mark Kermode 6 laughs in 90 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I laughed probably 3 times as much, like all the time.
Yeah. Did 6 laughs within the first 30 minutes, basically.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it even has a musical number in the end. Kind of reminiscent of the Daylight Come scene in the original.
Yes.
When they all they're like possessed
but
to start singing.
More musical-like, actually, because they like make it bigger.
And I love that they used, I don't know, I
have no idea what song that was, though.
I might be mixing it up, but I'm pretty sure it's called MacArthur Park. Hold on. MacArthur Park song. I gotta check the lyrics. I'm not saying this wrong because it has that. It has the part with "I'll never get the recipe again." Let's see if it is that. Yes, pair of striped pants. Yeah. MacArthur Park is melting in the dark. All the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it because it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if because they're singing around a wedding cake in a church.
Yes.
And Beetlejuice making everyone possessed to sing it. It's that like, they don't know why they start singing. Which also, instead of doing the song from the original, they do it with a new song. So it's like, it's like the old one, but it's also just a fun scene. You see, that's how you do fan service.
Exactly. And they even did include the original song, but they had it in the beginning.
And it made sense,
sort of. Made sense, because, in the original movie, when that scene has happened, everyone's ecstatic. They had so much fun. It's like a roller coaster, they call it.
But it's also funny because you see some of them, when the children's choir starts singing it, they're like, is this kind of morbid to sing this at a funeral? All right. No, but...
Well, I mean, Delia Dietz is a little bit eccentric as well, so...
Very eccentric, yeah. But I gotta say, why I reacted to that song was because it's a Seinfeld reference. So I was like, oh my god, because I've never actually heard the song until now. I've only heard it in that reference.
So you've only heard Michael Keaton sing it then? Well, no.
No, it is the actual song. Yeah. By Richard Harris, who recorded it. Yeah. The actor and singer Richard Harris in 1968. Anyway, yeah. So
let's get into specific plot points now.
But like I said, check it out. Much
definitely.
fun. This,
highly recommend.
This is real filmmaking. Even but it's a fun movie. It's not.
Yeah. It's not heavy.
Exactly.
Or important, but it's just pure good.
It's good. It's genuine. It's real. It's fun.
Yeah. Movies are allowed to be that too.
Yeah, of course. I had that conversation on Twitter today. Like someone said, like, movies are just supposed to be fun. I was like, no, they're not just supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be entertaining, but it should also be challenging for the most part.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you just want a fun movie, and that's what this was.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we're going to get into
Spoilers.
some specifics. So spoilers for Beetlejuice. You have been warned. Watch the movie, then come back, and you can hear us talk about specific scenes. So when Jeremy dies, again, I could do it.
Wait, which one was Jeremy?
Jeremy is the asshole ghost that wants to steal
the ghost.
Astrid's soul.
I need to look up who that actor is, because he looked
Arthur Conti.
So much...
I don't know who that is.
No, me neither.
Oh, he's in House of the Dragon.
He's a page. He has
Queen's
no
page.
speaking roles. He's just...
But maybe I've seen him in the...
He looks like someone.
Well, there's a... Alright. I mean, obviously I've seen him because I've seen this episode, but I don't.
Oh, he does speak in that episode. That's true.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's.
But like he's no one special.
But that's all he's done.
Yeah, but he looks so much like. I need to pull up that. I think his name is Penn. Something Penn.
I don't know any Penns other than Penn and Teller and Penn Badgley, but I don't think it's Penn Badgley.
Might actually, it is Penn Badgley. I'm thinking.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
They have the same facial structure and the same curly hair as he had in like the beginning of Gossip Girl.
Oh, okay, when he was younger.
So they look the same. That's why. I was
I can see.
Are they siblings or something?
I can see some
semblance.
Semblance, yeah. No, but
that's my only comment on that. I just had like he looked like him. I don't get it.
But yeah, were there anything specific you want to talk about? Because I don't know if it's anything specific like that thing.
No, you mentioned like the one thing that could have been cut out. I'm assuming it's what the fuck's her name?
Monica Bellucci.
Bellucci's storyline.
Yeah, because she's barely in the movie. She's more of like a catalyst to get Beetlejuice kind of nervous,
moving.
Yeah, and have him be on board with helping Lydia and Astrid. Yeah, because he needs their help to get away from.
You know what is her
name?
Dolores, yeah. You know what it kind of reminded me of? And it's going to be like a long, far-fetched and stretched, but...
Sure.
It reminded me of Men in Black 2, where they also have this beautiful, tall lady who just arrives and starts killing people.
Okay.
And somehow it's connected to the older dude in the, like, cop duo, which in this case would be Beetlejuice and Lydia Deetz.
Okay, yeah.
I just kept going, like... Why? It's the same kind of thing. You just see her in random clips killing people, and then you cut back to the actual people you care about or are following along with, and them trying to like avoid her or find her.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's the same kind of beat that way, that they never actually cross paths until the end.
And that's the problem. Like it should have been like, oh yeah, I gotta get Astrid back before she involuntarily gives her soul to this asshole, whatever his name was.
You said Jeremy.
Jeremy, right. But as they're doing this, they're being chased by the soul sucker, Dolores. Yeah. But yeah, she never shows up until the very end.
I mean, we have this one Scooby-Doo scene where they walk through one door and she walks through another, and
but they don't know she's there.
No, and she doesn't know they're there. Like,
exactly.
It's just the missing each other.
Yeah. So that's. She could have been incorporated more into the movie, I think. She could have been this specter looming, chasing them. And who is this? And
we should have had at least one encounter between them, and then they could have had more of this chase where they never really crossed paths.
Because
Lydia never realized that she was around.
No. And
I think it was only Beetlejuice and Willem Dafoe and his character. His Ghoul Squad.
Yeah, which is also another side plot where, Beetlejuice, of course, brings Lydia into the afterlife illegally.
Yeah, so it's a violation of Code 699 or what is it?
Yeah. So he gets the ghost police after him.
Yeah, the Ghoul Squad.
The Ghoul Squad, which is Willem Dafoe as an actor who died during one of his stunts.
Where he played a cop.
He played a cop in 6 movies and a reboot. So, of course, when he died, he got the chance to be a real cop. But he's more of an actor. And there's this ongoing gag where he has his assistant bring him coffee. Because, this classic, actors want their coffee all the time. But it never takes up space. Just instantly, every scene ends with him getting a coffee from her. Stuff like that, or her
I think
holding
only
up
once
cue cards.
We see him doing anything with it.
Yeah,
and it's when he crushes it and throws it away.
And you see he has like 30 cups. They're all just spilled out because he doesn't drink it. He just throws it.
No, that's all he does.
Yeah. And him seeing this as a chance to not just uphold the law, but also to show off his acting skills. It never
show that he's pretty good.
Yeah, it never takes up space. But, where it feels like it's taking away from the main story, which is finding and saving Astrid. But whenever it is there, whenever it becomes part of the main story, it's so much fun. Because Willem Dafoe, consummate professional.
Oh, yes.
He's one of those that in every movie, he never phones. He's like Nicolas Cage, but, not quite as, But still, he does a bunch of smaller movies, kind of sometimes crappy movies, but he never phones it in.
No.
He's always so professional and fucking amazing at what he does. And same thing here. So much energy. He matches the energy of the rest of the movie. All of them do, really.
Yes.
There's no one that feels like, out of place, kind of.
No.
they all really know, like, oh yeah, we're in a Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah.
I love
Let's ham it up.
Yeah, and they're having fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I still think that Catherine O'Hara is probably my favorite character, both in the original.
I love her.
Amazing.
And I love that they're kind of poking fun at the the performative artist that
yes,
it's never real emotions. So I was trying to it's fake emotions.
Oh yeah.
But I also, because I can be very pretentious sometimes, I recognize myself in her sometimes, and it's like, once again, Catherine O'Hara believes that what's her name? Dietz.
Deidre? Delia.
Delia Dietz. She believes in Delia Dietz. It's not like she's mocking Delia as a character.
No.
She embodies Delia 100%.
And Delia Dietz believes that everything she does is honest.
Yeah.
Even though she knows it's performative, but she's doing it with not just for the money, not just for the fame, even though that is a big thing.
Yeah, she's not.
Just mention it.
She's not cynical.
But she does a performance for herself.
Yeah, exactly.
No one knows about it. Well, Astrid knows about a detail about it, but she doesn't know what she's doing or where she's doing it.
Yeah, and she is
no
filming
one's there
it,
to see it.
Because it's part of... Yeah, she is filming it. It's supposed to be part of her grief exhibit.
Oh, that's true.
Where they're working out their emotions by taking pictures of themselves screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
little
she
details
did turn
like
herself
that.
into the canvas before that.
Yeah. It's
just her... It feels kind of genuine though somehow.
Yes, and it finds once again that perfect balance between poking fun at stuff like that, but the characters doesn't feel like cynical, ironical. No. They're silly.
Yeah,
but honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even with Lydia's whole TV show thing.
Yeah.
She seems kind of honest still, even though it's one of those where you usually fake everything.
Yeah.
She obviously doesn't, because we know she doesn't fake everything. But she might fake some of it.
Yeah, she has a ghost hunting show where, she goes in, ooh, doors are closing and stuff like that. But
which I'm wondering if they ham it up by having her ask a ghost to just exaggerate, please.
I think so, since she's just casually talking to a ghost backstage.
Yeah.
We realize. And how they work that into the plot then, because Astrid doesn't believe in that and feels like, her mom neglected her in just to make her TV show. But it was honestly, she neglected her, but also because she was grieving
the loss of of Astrid's father. Were they married? I'm not sure.
I don't know if they were married, but they Astrid's father who died he disappeared in the Amazon. He was the kind of that revolutionary spirit that Astrid has. And that maybe that's when I think for a movie like this, they go into it enough where it feels like it feels complete. But could they have gone into more, spent a little bit more time with Lydia and Astrid kind of coming to terms with each other? Yes. But once again, you don't want it to take away from the comedy. So I think I think they found that balance. That's what this movie is all about. It's balance.
Yeah. And they chose to have that, instead of having them sit down and have the conversation, they chose to just show Astrid everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, you weren't lying. Everything you said has been true. I believe you. I'm sorry I was a brat, basically.
Yeah. And then also the classic 90s, the teen who hates her mom or dad or whatever, but then in the end, oh no, now I understand why, and I actually love you. Yeah. Another detail in that, when they do find her dad, which is a little bit they just happen to run into him, but I think it was fine.
It's the perfect way, to be honest.
Yeah.
How else could they do it?
They said that he drowned in a boating accident in the Amazon and they never found his body, because obviously he was eaten by piranhas. Because when they find him, he is covered in piranhas who are eating him. And
one of them flopping on his ear constantly. So much fun.
Actual, like, animatronic effects that they put on him.
Yeah.
And that's not another brilliant move where, like, they could have gone, you know, where they went the fun route instead of just, you know, trying to go emotional route.
Yeah.
Throughout every one of his scenes, which is really the big emotional, the heart of the movie, is Astrid getting to talk to her dad one last time. Again, and like she said, have some closure, actually get to say goodbye to him. Every scene, though, he still has he never moves those fishes. They're there every time. He can't, of course, he can't. But I mean, in another movie, they would like, the next scene he shakes them off because it's silly to have
to clean him up or something.
It would be silly to have that in an emotional scene, but here they keep the fishes, and even in the quieter moment, you still hear them go. Yeah, they're shaking. You hear them flopping as they're hugging and crying, and it's like, that's genius.
Yes,
they commit to the bit. Is what they do, which a good comedy should do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also like that they didn't make him, like, coming back be a big thing. Like, they were gonna, like, we need to revive you because we know how to do that now. Like, no. They're just, we got to talk to you one last time. We know what happened to you now. And he goes, even though you can't see me, I'm always watching you too.
Yeah,
please stop fighting. Love each other.
That's one thing, though. Why can't they see him?
Because I think he chooses not to let them see them.
Okay.
Him. Because he thinks that they will move on faster, maybe?
Okay, because that's one thing they don't really explain. Why? Because Lydia can see every ghost, and obvious Astrid can, even though she didn't know it. But they can't see
talk about
him.
it with, like, the Maitlands, that they can choose to kind of move on eventually if they found a loophole specifically.
Yeah.
But, like, you can move on. If you go on the Soul Train, for example, you move on. You won't be able to haunt people and stuff like that. I mean, he got a job, so I'm assuming he's kind of busy.
So he has kind of moved on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's not stuck in our world.
And I think it's also
that
a little
makes
bit
sense.
like...
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because you wouldn't see people...
And I think it has a little bit to do with, like, if you want to be seen also. Like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You want people to find you.
Then it makes sense. Sorry, it makes total sense. Because you can only see ghosts that are in our world that hasn't moved on.
Yeah.
All the people working in the afterlife have moved on. You can't see the afterlife.
They're busy. Yeah. Exactly. It's only if they make their way into our world.
Exactly. So, okay, then it makes sense.
And he never did, because he was busy. He had other things to do.
Yeah. He was okay with dying. Which is fine, you know, yeah. Okay, then it makes sense. Not even that was a plot hole then.
No, I don't think there are any actual plot holes.
No.
There's nothing that's really, like, left in the open. We have the... ultimate end for Dolores, and unexpectedly, I guess,
wait, how
husband to be Rory.
how do they defeat her?
Sandworm.
Oh, right. She gets eaten by the sandworm. That's when you're like...
They both get eaten by the sandworm,
right,
because she's holding him for some reason. I don't remember why.
Because, she likes... hot guys because she wants souls.
Oh, right, that's
so
true.
They're like, how about this guy? And she's like, ooh.
Oh, right.
So she's temporarily...
And it's a living soul.
Yeah.
It's not a dead soul.
Temporarily preoccupied with his luscious looks, and then the sandworm. And of course, the sandworm is from beyond the other side, so if he gets it,
Mars, or wherever they call it.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, a little bit of a cop-out, but it works.
Yes, because it's a callback a little bit to the first movie where they also have the sandworms come into the real world through a door to kill people, basically. But I don't think they actually kill someone in that one.
No, I don't think so.
They managed to lure it away instead.
Yeah. By the way, did you realize that this is the second movie this year from Warner Brothers that has a big sandworm in it?
Is the other one Dune?
Yeah. Like, how often can you say that? You have two movies in 1 year from the same studio that has sandworms in it.
Yeah.
Nah?
They kind of have similar how they move and stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
I did keep thinking of Dune. I was like, sandworms. It's the same as in Dune. I never thought of that before.
Yeah, no.
Until this movie.
Well,
why didn't I think of Beetlejuice when I saw it in Dune then?
Because it's just a little... It isn't really in the original Beetlejuice that much. It's not really in here that much either.
No, they fall into the Mars pit like once, and then it's in the end.
Yeah.
Kind of like in this one. They fall into the Mars pit once, and then they call it on the end.
Yeah.
Call it on in the end. We need to mention, I did appreciate that they threw in a tiny little bit of a romance here. Not between Lydia and Rory.
No.
Does not count.
No.
They were not in love. There was no actual love there.
No.
They were just...
He says
she
it
was
when he
like,
gets the truth
it's convenient. Serum. And he was such a sleazebag.
Yeah.
But they threw in a little bit of a teen romance, and it was reminiscent of like Casper and shit. And it was like, that's so cute. And then I go, fuck, he's
yeah, that kind of sucked because she kind of falls for this. What was his name? Charles? No, Jeremy. I don't remember. Ghost asshole.
You said it first. You're the one who remembered it.
Yeah, no, I read it on IMDb. So when that happens, like, oh, that's kind of cool that, this guy she kind of likes is a ghost. That means like, oh, she can see ghosts, but it's also like, I thought,
which is they kind of brushed over that little revelation that she can see ghosts all of a sudden.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, I've been so mean to my mom. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But then it was like, so now it's gonna be like the main. Then I thought they were gonna be the main story where they're gonna try to bring Jeremy back, but then something, even from the beginning, felt off because he felt like he was rushing through stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then they reveal it that he was like a psycho kid who killed his family. And you're like, oh no, he's gonna try to take her soul. And
I mean, we both kind of called it the second scene he's in. We go like, that's weird. Why are they not showing us the parents' faces?
You never see the parents' face, and Lily had wigs for some reason.
Yeah, we're like, that's odd. I think we said, like, either they're dead or there's something wrong with them.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I was a little like, oh, because that's another thing that's sorely missing from modern movies, like romance.
Yes.
Like, it was
true love.
It was a fun way to do it, that he was, a bad guy. But it was like, damn it, I kind of wished we had a proper love story in the movie. But yeah.
We almost got a redemption at the end.
Yeah. But
try not to be a dream.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of makes up for that, though? To show that true love is still, like, important? Lydia and Charles.
Yeah.
She literally goes in, well,
No, I mean Delia and Charles.
Oh, sorry, Delia and Charles. Sorry, Lydia, Delia, whatever. Yeah. Delia and Charles, because when she inadvertently ends up in the afterlife, because her defanged venomous snakes turn out to be not defanged.
Yeah.
The first thing she says, like, oh, well, Charles is here, and he's, like she said before, he's my rock. He can get me out of this pickle.
He always helps me. He always fixes everything.
Yeah, he's my horny little handyman.
Yeah.
So when they towards the end find each other, it feels like we have some genuine love anyway. Yeah. Even though it's a bit more,
like, even though they had in the first movie, they're constantly bickering.
Yeah, but
she did love him.
Yes, I think that,
truly love him, and they show it. They do show it in the original.
They do,
as well.
Yeah, I think so.
But they show it even more here, even though all of her performances of grieving him, that is just her way of actually grieving, probably.
Yeah, because that's how she processes things, because she's an artist.
Exactly. And then when she gets the chance to reunite with him, she's like, yeah, I'm happy to die as long as I'm with him.
Yeah, so it's, she'll be fine because they're together. Yeah. Like, oh, that's beautiful.
She has her Charles.
Her horny little handyman. Yeah. That was also like a great scene when they're going to pick up Astrid from the boarding school she's at, and they're all bickering over who's going to actually tell her that Grandpa's dead. And Rory wants to I'll do it to kind of, I'm
the father figure.
Yeah, I have to be the father figure. And she's like, no, I'll talk to her, Lydia says. And then Delia, without saying it, just steps out of the car like, Astrid Dietz, get out of here! Your grandpa's dead!
Your mother!
Yeah. I lost my Charles, my horny little handyman, just screaming, and everyone's watching her. And she's already a bit of a pariah at school because she's the weird ghost girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It's
but I do like that we didn't have to see the kids react to it properly. No, it's just her screaming, everyone staring at it, faces, and then cut to them talking privately.
Yeah, they don't make a thing out of it.
Enough stupid scenes of them like bullying her even more, like laughing at her as she walks downstairs. No. We didn't need that. That would have been stupid.
No, it's just it was dumb, silly fun.
Yes, exactly.
And
again, Delia Deetz is like,
oh yeah,
everything.
Like I said, I haven't watched the original in so long, so I kind of forgot how much fun she is.
Yeah.
And
we did have a little bit of a prediction though at the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
we said that we assumingly there kind of has to be a third movie called Beetlejuice Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
They are kind of hinting at it without. It's not like, oh, there's another one coming.
No. They're like leaving it open, as in you could if you want.
Yeah, which is also a very 90s thing where you leave it open for another one, but if it flops, yeah, whatever. You didn't.
It's still its own
ending. Movie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. However, Delia won't be in that probably though, because she got on the Soul Train.
That's true. Yeah, she could show up. She could take the Soul Train. Or they could
find a way.
Yeah, of course.
Beetlejuice brings her back. I don't know.
They can do whatever they want.
That's true. I mean, it's the afterlife. It's their afterlife. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. There's no rules to it.
Exactly. And
you had a soul-sucking demon who sucks souls out of already dead people. How does that work?
Exactly. And I wonder if part of why this feels so old school, so to speak, so genuinely like 90s, like 2000s kind of comedy, is because of Miles Millar and Alfred Goh. Because they're mainly known for writing like stuff in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, and some not always good, but fun stuff, and also but also good stuff. I mean, they were both involved in Shanghai Noon. It feels weird to like use that as a reference. Like that's why they're good. That's why they're good screenwriters. But they're good at this kind of like silly, lighthearted fun. But also they've written some like better stuff, like Spider-Man 2. I think they're both involved in stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they've mainly worked in like the 2000s. They've done some stuff in the 2010s and stuff like that. But I mean, in the last 5 years, this is it. Other than Wednesday. So is Wednesday any good then? Because now maybe I want to check that out as well.
I think Wednesday is well produced. I'll give it that, definitely, and it's not bad, but it's good in the same way that the Sabrina Netflix show was good.
Okay, I didn't really like that.
Kind of like you have to like the character specifically. You have to kind of like that specific genre of thing. You have to like supernatural stuff. Okay. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
It looks good, definitely. I mean, come on, fucking Tim Burton had a hand in it.
Yeah.
And the story is teenage fine, There's angst, there's friendship, there's love, there's tragedy. I haven't finished it. I saw like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're making another season. Oh God, yes they are.
Well, it was popular, so
it's one of those that shouldn't have too many seasons, though. Probably much like Sabrina only had, I think, 3 or 4, and they weren't too long.
Like 3 volumes or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
it felt like the story kept working towards an actual end.
Yeah,
that was fine. And it's, I'd say, give it a shot. Like, watch an episode or 2 just to see like the value of it and like the look of it.
Yeah,
you might enjoy it a little bit, but I don't think it's one of those that you're gonna rewatch over and over and binge watch or something.
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
And then of course they had a third writer, Seth Grahame-Smith, who is I guess the younger one, to kind of add a youthful touch to it, even though it's not that young. But
It's Astrid's voice, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess more. And he's known for like dark fantasy, slightly comedic stuff like Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. He wrote the
Pride
book
and Prejudice and Zombies.
Exactly. He also wrote one of the, believe it or not, best Batman movies, the Lego Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
It's also like a genuinely fun, but also like the characters are well written, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I want to give a lot to not hiring some new like fresh fresh screenwriter, because then you would get this modern feeling movie. No, you got some old timers who has done some, like, they're dependable comedy writers from the 2000s, and then one little younger guy who has like a more of a dark goth
and they've all worked with Tim Burton in one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
So they know each other, they know his vibes.
Yeah, and I think that it was a recipe for success to kind of keep it old school.
Well, yes, and it's the good kind of old school where they're not like overdoing it.
Yeah, and it's not poking.
We're starting to repeat ourselves here, but it's genuine, just vibes.
Yeah, but not poking fun at modern stuff. It's just doing. Like I said, this movie could have come out in '95. It feels like it, really. I mean, even because we have so many physical effects, it literally could have come out in '95. Because they could have done most of the effects in '95.
The only thing you want to remove from it then is the fact that they're using smartphones like once or twice.
Yeah,
but that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Because that also is like, I think that's something that someone mentioned it. I don't remember who. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about movies in general today and yesterday. Someone mentioned that like nowadays you can't really do that whole miscommunication in the same way that you could in the 90s because everyone has a smartphone.
Everyone's connected.
You can Google anything. You can call anyone anywhere. Yeah. Like, it solves so many issues nowadays. They didn't have smartphones here, really. They had it in one or two scenes.
And they mainly use it to call each other, which a cell phone
or even technically ignore each other.
Yeah.
Because then all the ghosts, they don't have smartphones.
No,
they
exactly.
Don't have phones.
There was nothing like that, or like, we're in the worldwide afterlife web or something like that. No,
there was
the afterlife
like
still
that.
Worked like it did in 88.
Exactly. Because why would you need technology when you can probably just telepathically talk to people if you want to?
That's now we know what it is. This movie felt very timeless. That's it.
Yes.
It was both very nostalgic and old school, but also fresh feeling. Because it felt out of time, sort of. It could have been this year. It could have been 95.
It could probably be in like another 10 or 20 years. If you want to.
Probably. Yeah. So
I'm very happy about it. This is going to be one of my like return to every autumn movies.
And even more than the original, because the original doesn't really take place during Halloween, right?
Oh, I think it's summer, actually.
Yeah, this one...
Because they're having their summer vacation when they die.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This takes place during Halloween, so you have that perfect, cozy Halloween setting with all the kids running around. It's dark streets with all the Halloween decorations. And
especially in that kind of town.
Yeah.
Where it's just, all the kind of the cute little houses.
I don't know if it is, but it feels very Midwestern to someone who isn't from America. Yeah. This is
That's why it felt nostalgic to me. It felt like watching fucking Hocus Pocus or something.
Yes, because that's what Speaking of legacy sequels, the Hocus Pocus sequel that came out like last year or the year before.
Yeah, or year before. Yeah.
That one actually not as well as this, but also kind of captured that 90s feeling.
Yeah,
but they modernized it too much. That was a problem. This
a little bit. Yeah,
perfect. But yeah, I think we're gonna cut it a little bit short there.
We'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Yes. Highly recommend. Please go watch it.
Yeah.
This is when we do our like end of the year recap. This is gonna be top tier of some sort.
Oh yeah, I mean it is technically in my top 10.
Exactly, and it's definitely gonna be nominated for something. I'm telling you that much.
Oh yeah. Look out for the spoiler.
Actually.
Yeah, the spoiler words. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it.
Our Patreon episode for this, I'm not sure what it'll be. I don't know.
We said we might do the original Beetlejuice, but maybe we'll just do another 90s nostalgic thing because I don't think we have anything specific otherwise.
No, to talk about Beetlejuice would just be the same we talked about here. Yeah, because it's so similar. So similar without feeling rehashed. Sorry. No.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you want to see what we talk about on Patreon, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Other than that, we'll be back next week with... Did we have any plans?
Isn't it Don't Speak, perhaps?
Speak No Evil?
Speak No Evil? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, which I'm not super pumped about, but I guess
we'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
That's the planned one. We never actually follow our plans, so
very rarely, yeah. And like I said, I'm not super pumped to watch the fucking Blumhouse remake of a great movie. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it opens up for us to actually watch the other one.
Oh yeah, I still want you to watch the original.
Exactly. So maybe you need to make me watch that one.
I guess. But you'll have to come back next week to find out if we talk about Speak No Evil or not. So hit that subscribe button, click likes, leave your comments, all that stuff.
All that good stuff.
And we'll be back next week, guys. Until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Daniel Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, CK85.